Don't try to overthink anything. When you're talking to an entire subsection of the human experience that would rather be in the woods with a bear than a human being of the opposite gender, just think like, what would a bear do? The bear would just go, just do that shit. Okay, so let's hop into this Vaush video. This Vaush video. Woo.
Free was kind of fun. Isn't Free that yaoi anime that everyone freaked out over? Where it was all the boys swimming or whatever? My sister loves that slop. Oh, I don't doubt it.
How do you remember that? I do remember. Free is ancient. Is this like a really long time ago? No, this is like new, isn't it?
Yaoi is slop, and I'm a little piggy oink oink.
The main, and even from even like graphic dojins to just regular kind of semi-erotic anime or whatever else, the main problem with yaoi is that it's fucking dog shit.
How does Vaush have the ability? Do you guys know what Free is? When did that come out? (2019) 2013. Yeah, that shit's ancient. Ancient. Free is like forever ago. I remember people talking about that. Like, holy fuck. That's all the way back there. Even if this is 2019, that's such a deep reference to a not highly popular pseudo yaoi. I don't even know if it's really yoi or yaoi. I can't ever say that fucking word right. It's too many it's all vowels. But like, that is such a deep cut reference. My man doesn't know who Brandon Sanderson is, but he has intimate knowledge of a fucking yaoi anime from fucking 2013. You know? Like, I can't believe just fucking dropping that shit off at the top of a hat. Knowing what that is crazy. I keep up with fucking simulcast, and I remember that if he wouldn't have said it, it wouldn't have popped into my fucking mind. I remember that from memes 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It's that and the one butt fight anime with chicks in it. That is crazy. What a deep reference for him to understand that. No knowledge of contemporary comic books, no knowledge of literature almost whatsoever. But my man can fucking pick Gooner content out of like the depths of darkness. That is insanity.
Dude's fucking, okay? The problem is a lot of it is written by
Yuri
women.
on Ice. Yuri on Ice.
Women aren't actually attracted to guys per se, and the way guys tend to look, they're just projecting themselves in the role of a man having sex with a feminine man. So a lot of yaoi you end up getting like mutual androgyny to the point where genuinely it doesn't even feel like what are we even doing here, right? I'm not saying it's bad to have that. I'm just saying it's so often the case. The only people who are doing like really good mutual bara furry, or even just guys who look like guys, are furries, and there are problems with that too. Because furries, nobody does like subtle bara furry. They're all just like 8 foot tall, massive, fat, you know, trucker, just super ultra, you know, whatever. I think you're confusing women not actually liking men and women having different tastes in men. Nope. A lot of straight women legitimately just don't seem to be that attracted to men. I think they just think of men as like, okay, there's literally a trope where fujoshis, straight women who are into shipping guys with guys, aren't actually attracted to real men, only fake men. So like that's
That's a head ass take. What? Holy fuck! This is a good one. What? I'll tell you what. Like, I'll just tell you right now. I have irrefutable proof. I'll just say that straight women are into guys, regardless of the guy's general disposition. It just takes a certain kind of guy. You know what? I'll just straight women are into dudes, hardcore. They're straight. That's their sexual disposition. They fucking like dudes. They might not like every guy they come across, but I'm telling you right now, women like dudes a lot. It's just there's a lot of shit guys out there. You know what I mean? It's like if I went somewhere and they all just sold like the nastiest cheeseburger you've ever seen in your life, like the cheese is half rotten, the meat is undercooked or like also fucking rotten. They don't even serve it on buns. They serve it on like just like welded together old waffle irons or some shit like that. It's just metal and you've got to squish it. And they're like, this is a cheeseburger. I would go like, I don't want to fucking eat that. That's disgusting. And then if I kept going around and I kept finding that same thing offered, I'd be like, what in the, this is disgusting. But then when you showed me a fucking advertisement for a good fucking cheeseburger, and I would probably just sit at it and drool, like sit staring at it and drool for like a half hour. Like, fuck, I wish I could eat that. Like, I literally want that in my mouth. Guess what? Women are the same way. They're the same way. There's a lot of women out there who want to fuck a hot dude and only hot guys. No interest whatsoever in women. They just want piping hot dick. Straight up, literally nothing else. And that's all they're into. Unfortunately, all of the fucking dick around them is not piping hot. That's basically how it breaks down. There's just a lot of fucking mid-ass, shit-ass dudes out there. And like right now, the current meta for guys is being as like unfucking attractive as you can be to show off your masculinity for other men. Like just being an unwashed fucking like super beasto, just going around with fucking like unfucking uncleansed balls. And women aren't into that. Women aren't into substandard men. Why would you be? I'm not into substandard men or substandard women. There's just some people are out there, they're kind of like unfuckable. And if that's all that you get offered, you're going to be like, I'm not hungry right now. You know what I mean? Like, and even then they'll still just be like, sometimes just like, fuck it. I'm starving. Give me, I'll take it. I'll take it. There is no proof. There's literally no way to prove that straight women just aren't into men. It is the most head ass bullshit fucking take I have ever heard in my life. That it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, it just, like, you have to not leave. Like, I guess you have no straight friends. You know what I mean? Why are we here to suffer this? Why are we here to suffer this meddlesome horse lord's gooning pontification? Jesus Christ. I'm not into dudes who want to be the horse. Yeah. Lots of people do not take care of themselves. Usually it's men, though. I mean, yeah, it's not like there's like all women are just like rearing ready to go anime waifus. There's a lot of girls who don't take very good care of themselves, and a lot of guys aren't into girls that, you know, if you're straight and you're into women, that you're just like, I don't know. There's a bunch of grimy Bettys out there and that I'm just not fucking into. On the dude side of things, there's a cultural, especially in the West, there is a cultural push towards basically virtue signaling your conservatism in a weird way for a lot of, especially younger men, by being grimy. You know what I'm saying? Like literally being grimy and being so anti-gay that they start associating aspects of grooming yourself with being gay. But like having a nice haircut is awesome. Women like nice hair. It doesn't matter that much in general, unless they're absolutely fucking racist. If it's hair like mine or fucking type 4C, 4D, whatever it is, hair that's just like absolutely the antithesis of this fucking straight, dry bullshit. Like all over. They like a good haircut, right? Shaved. Generally, most women don't like unkempt facial hair. There's a few that do. Whether you have facial hair or not, it's kind of like some women are like, I fucking only want that. Some women are like, I absolutely fucking don't. My wife despises facial hair, so I'm always clean shaven. And I can't grow good facial hair anyway. But like if you do grow facial hair and you look like a scraggly, dirty fuck, you know, like if you're walking around, with all due respect to Big Joel, like when Big Joel stops cutting his hair and he just looks like a fucking frazzled meme of a person. If you add that onto not having a personality, you're going to be like very, very difficult to sell in the marketplace of hooking up with people. Like, it's just going to be difficult for you. And women might not, the pool of women who are going to be into that is going to be decreasing. And I know a lot of you guys are into Big Joel, but I don't think you have. I think you're out of luck. If I remember correctly, he bats well for the other team. And if he doesn't, my apologies, Big Joel. I'm sorry for bringing you up. You just have like a perfect aesthetic of being kind of like popping in and out of like, when Big Joel, let me alternate this. When Big Joel does nice grooming and like he seems to like give a shit, and he cuts all of his hair and fixes himself up, that plus his personality is extremely attractive. Like, he's just, even if you're not going to like try to hook up with them, attractive doesn't always mean like, I'm going to fuck that person. Sometimes it literally just means I want to be closer to them and like, I want to engage. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people who don't want to actually fuck me still find me attractive IRL and will approach me just because they're like, oh, this dude's like tall and talking a lot, and he seems to have used deodorant within the last 6 hours. Like, wow, that's crazy. And like, if you don't prescribe to certain things, then you will not be as attractive. But fucking, I'm telling you this right now, straight women are not only just into dudes, they are literally fucking them and having their children, like crazy amounts. And it is not all just like, trad wife, like I have no opportunities, I'm stuck in a marriage, for God I'm going to replicate. Some women are just out there, I'm not shitting you, just like, I am about to turn 25 and I need to find specifically a brown-eyed fucking 5'10" dude who like reminds me of a guy I knew when I was younger to fucking just blow me out and fucking fill me full of children. Like, they're just losing their minds, desirous of men. Understand, they are fucking down for dude. They love guys. I cannot hammer that home enough, but just not every guy. I like Big Joel's messier look better, but then again, I am lesbian. Well, as a lesbian, body hair on women can be great, but that shit needs to be washed and maintained. Yeah, I've said this before. Like, a lot of it is grooming. It's not necessarily like the standard like that you have impressed upon you by society is bad. Like, if you're a woman and you can grow like a nice mustache, right? Like a little, like you look like a fucking Viltrumite. That's awesome. Based. Okay, cool. If you want to have that and that's your thing, go for it. I'm just like, I haven't seen it really pulled off, but if it fucking slaps, it slaps. You know what I mean? I never know what I'm into until I'm into it, darling. But if you grow little ratty, like 13-year-old kid mustache, like that just reminds me of like prepubescent boys, and it's just an absolute like turn off. It's just like, dude, shave that shit. I would tell any guy to shave that shit, not because I prefer men without mustaches, just because it just looks like ass. Like, it's just an ass looking fucking mustache. Just like, you know, it's all like fuzzy. It only comes in like right here. Some other people might be super into that. To me, it just looks like me talking to my friends that I had when I was 13. It might be a personal thing, because I couldn't even grow a mustache until I was in my early 20s. I have like ultimate fucking baby face. I can't grow facial hair worth a shit. I look like a child at all times. But yeah.
Actual thing. It's literally like a joke of fucking guys in anime, and they love them. Because guys in anime are all like hyper feminine, you know? It's not really like, they're not really like characteristics that lead you to be attracted to actual masculine real life people. Whereas, even though anime girls are often super unrealistic, they are often depicted as feminine. And it's much less common for people to be like, you know, oh yeah, I'm really into Yuri. I think it's hot when girls fuck girls in anime, but in real life, girls are gross. That's like, that 3D, 2D waifu bullshit does happen, but I don't think it's the same kind of issue.
This is like antithetical to anything I know about anime. Like, I was giving him credit a second ago, but there's so many. Dude, one of my favorite chicks in anime is Revi from fucking Black Lagoon, who is about as antithetical to femininity as possible. Like, when that Black Lagoon first came out, I was like, this is what I like. That's pretty fire. And there's just so, like, she's just an icon, right? There's so many, like, if it's just that the woman looks like a woman and that's the femininity aspect, okay, you can't really do much about a girl that looks like a girl. That's kind of its own different thing. But just the people that write like fucking odes to motherfuckers and make fan cams make them about all sorts of different chicks all the time. Ghislaine from Mushoku Tensei was like really big. Unfortunately, also so are some of the other characters. But like the bunny woman from My Hero Academia, the only adult sex icon from that goddamn show. She's like a very aggressive bunny lady that just kicks people's heads in and gets her arms ripped off, and then is still just like a 10 out of 10. Fucking fire. I haven't seen anything past that. I found like she got injured and I was just like, there's no reason to watch any of this. I skipped like so many fucking arcs of that dumbass show. But there's just so many female characters out there that aren't like typically feminine, to the point where like one of the most notable is like tsundere, yudere, kudere. The whole dere like archetypes are like literal variations of the amount of fucking like femininity that something displays, like something sometimes literally displays, and they really are just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But also on the other side, men, I've seen women online are just into the guy I've seen that is almost universally loved by women, and prove me wrong, one of the most universally loved men on fucking earth in the anime world, Maze Hughes from Full Metal Alchemist, literally trad dad, 6'3" trad dad who dies, like women's favorite guy ever. Second favorite, his fucking partner. You know what I mean? Like, and women are just into that. Fucking Roy Mustang, absolutely like flawed masculine character. Not Roy Mustang, not gay. Just not very gay. You know what I mean? Like, of course they probably put in like those kind of hookup situations, but women fantasizing about two men hooking up with each other, I've never understood why that is for some reason so different, especially when like those men aren't even going to be like fucking. Then like in canon, I don't understand why that is seen under such. I do understand, but I don't get why people argue that is so different than like when guys fantasize about two female characters that wouldn't fucking. Like, do you know what I mean? Why are we seeing this through two like so different lenses? My man Vaush has never heard of old man yaoi. No, like it's so different. Also, Violent Evergarden is presenting pretty feminine, but it's like a robot. Yeah, I feel like even though like a lot of these characters are hyper archetypal, it seems like he's still, even on top of that, essentializing them in profoundly unnecessary ways in order to sort of articulate a point that doesn't even need to be articulated, because it's also just not true. I think he just had a take here and is playing a video game and just decided to start talking, but it's crazy because this fucking video this is a Thermia video, 20,000 views, you know? So there's like 20,000 people that have been exposed to this. This is like kind of fucking stupid.
Searching for that one tweet where the guy takes his Fujoshi sister to a gay bar on Bear Night and she cries so hard she throws up. Exactly. What a sentence. I mean, it's kind of true. Have you guys never gotten the impression a lot of straight women just kind of don't find men attractive? Probably also worth pointing out that when a lot of women fetishize men, they do it in ways that actually fetishize men's control or power. Like them being large or strong or big hands or whatever, but it doesn't usually extend to like the man's appearance itself. Like a good example.
I fucking missed. I was trying to pause and I
tend to look.
What does that mean? Like women are into being like kind of dom subbed by like stronger, but they're not actually into the dude being stronger or bigger. Like, are a bunch of you ladies out there just into? I mean, it's okay, but are you into like short stack like dude? Is he going back to goblin porn? Because that's what is he just? Did he just go straight back to gobbo shit? The man is on a fucking mission.
They're just projecting themselves in the role of a man having sex with a feminine man. So a lot of yaoi you end up getting like mutual androgyny to the point where genuinely it doesn't even feel like.
This is also like, why do you think the women are what evidence do you have that they're projecting? You know what maybe like voyeurism is still just a paraphilia. You know what I mean? Like you can also just want to like watch it happen. Some people like to watch, darling. What? What? Why is that? Why is that a supposition? What do you base any of this on?
Like, what are we even doing here, right? I'm not saying it's bad to have that. I'm just saying it's so often the case. The only people who are doing, like, really good mutual bara furry, or even just guys who look like guys, are furries. And there are problems with that, too. Because furries, nobody does, like, subtle bara furry. They're all just, like, 8-foot-tall, massive, fat, you know, trucker.
I think I went back in time.
Ultra, you know, whatever. I think you're confusing women not actually liking men and women having different tastes on you. Nope. A lot of straight women legitimately just don't seem to be that attracted to men. I think they just think of men as like, okay, there's literally a trope where fujoshis, straight women who are into shipping guys with guys, aren't actually attracted to real men, only fake men. So like that's an actual thing. It's literally like a joke of fucking guys in anime and they love them. Because guys in anime are all like hyper feminine, you know? It's not really like, they're not really like characteristics that lead you to be attracted to actual masculine real life people. Whereas, even though anime girls are often super unrealistic, they are often depicted as feminine. And it's much less common for people to be like, you know, oh yeah, I'm really into Yuri. I think it's hot when girls fuck girls in anime, but in real life, girls are gross. That's, like, that 3D, 2D waifu bullshit does happen, but I don't think it's the same kind of issue. Searching for that one tweet where the guy takes his Fujoshi sister to a gay bar.
Can I also just say, I know some people are sharing some stuff in the thing, but like, I've just seen I've seen plenty of like, boys de love, which isn't like children, it's like adult men. Like, and there's just a bunch of stereotypes, and some of the stereotypes are like boyish boys who are kind of like, you know, they act younger or they act like naive and they blush and stuff. And then there's like guys, men, you know, the bigger dude who's kind of like quiet and like angry. Girls are into that. Like this, one of the dead, fucking Undead Unluck is like, I'm pretty sure drawn by a lady, and it is just that chick being horny as fuck for certain types of dudes. Like he's just like an overly forward, aggressive, like rakish guy. This is madness. It doesn't correspond to any reality. Like if my man is just watching, like if you're just, are all the girls in the porn you're watching fucking horses? Like, is that what I meant to believe? At a certain point, what in the fuck?
On Bear Night and she cries so hard she throws up. Exactly. What a sentence. I mean, it's kind of true. Have you guys never gotten the impression a lot of straight women just kind of don't find men attractive? Probably also worth pointing out that when a lot of women fetishize men, they do it in ways that actually fetishize men's control or power. Like them being large or strong or big hands or whatever, but it doesn't usually extend to like the man's appearance itself. Like a good example of this would be 50 Shades of Grey, where all of the characteristics that Christian Grey is like a fantasy object for are his wealth, power, competence, so on and so forth. But in terms of his actual appearance, like, yeah, he's hot, but that's clearly not the operative force there, right? I think that a lot of women just think of men as vessels.
Hold on, that can't even be true, because am I to believe that there is one? I have not read 50 Shades of Grey. I think someone has a copy in the next room over. But I just refuse to. Let's just description of Christian Grey. My brain is like Dorian. Quote. Let's see. Quote. Let's see. Character profile. Let's see if on Goodreads it has it. Christian Grey is the male protagonist of the trilogy and Anastasia Steele's love interest. God, that name. To the outside world, he appears young, handsome, business savvy, and charming. However, he has a dark side. He secretly practices it. Christian is tall, muscular, and broad-shouldered with dark copper-colored hair and smoldering gray eyes. Like, yeah, that's what I think. That's why I interrupted myself. Is it possible for any woman fucking porno book, any fuck book, to not have a dude with a smoldering gaze? A lot of the times it's like, he wasn't even touching me, but the smoldering gaze held me in place as he walked across the room. You know? Like, I've read so many books like that, and the dude is almost always described as being tall, broad-shouldered, And you know, like maybe like thickly muscled or like not overly big, but just like hot with a six pack or so, you know what I mean? Just like the general trend, the standard center point, like of commonality that like most women seem to be able to be like, at least like okay, I can get it. If not like, I am absolutely into that. You start with right around my height or a bit shorter, 6'4" to 6'2", broad shoulders, maybe narrow hips, pouty lips, dark features, which doesn't mean a black guy, it just means you have dark hair. Sorry, tall, dark, and handsome is apparently me. And smoldering eyes, right? Maybe sometime a voice that growls, a growling, deep, rumbling voice, you know, like that's what you hear. Hair that you just wanted to sink your fingers into. Like, I can just pull this shit like right out of my fucking head. Like, what in the fuck? Like, they're always described. When a woman describes a man as taller than her and muscular, she's describing someone that can hold her the fuck down. More than likely, statistically speaking, like it's inferred she's a woman. Dorgass.
The power, and they're attracted to the power. But as for the way men actually look, it's pretty common for straight women to fantasize about other shit while getting railed. I could never. If I'm fucking someone, I'm looking at them. I'm thinking about them.
Lithe, decoy, correct.
But it's a whole thing where it seems like a lot of straight women, like when talking to other women, confide in each other.
Triptych says, "Cum gutters." Oh my gosh, shout out all the fucking Fujo shit chicks online that are just like, and he had the vagina bones, but for like a guy.
It's like, oh no, you know, actually, like when I'm getting like having sex, whatever, I picture this fantasy, or why did I hold the jump button? Okay, whatever, it worked out. That's a very incel line of thinking. No, literally, this is a thing. I'm not saying this to like blame women or whatever. I'm just saying this is like a cultural problem. It's also why I don't tend to fuck straight women. How do we fix straight women? Well, it definitely doesn't help that a lot of guys.
I mean, dude, I think the reason you don't fuck a lot of straight women, I couldn't imagine. You're getting by on. You're definitely getting by on fucking money at that point. I mean, maybe there's like a chick, obviously, you know, you never know. There's always people that can get laid. But like, Vaush has kind of like, I would say, one of the most perfect personalities to be repulsive to most women. What, are you laughing? I think she just sneezed. Because he's like, okay, here, for guys, if you're into women, actually kind of in a general sense, but especially if you're like the bigger party, one of the most attractive things to women is the possibility of getting the fuck away from you alive and not irritated as fuck, which is usually where most dudes fuck up. It is okay to be soft-spoken, quiet, to not add a lot of shit. There is just a vibe about Vaush where I think most straight women would go, okay, this guy's never going to shut the fuck up. He is going to talk in every talking space, and then every other time it's going to be me not knowing if I can say a fucking word to him without him arguing with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, women can sense that shit real quick because they have to be able to, because that's kind of like that's their like little swing area. Women can pick up on a lot of social cues before dudes do, mostly because you guys, until you're even told that you can do it, you just don't even know that it's there to be picked up on. Obviously, none of them want to get murdered. So, you know, when you're talking to somebody who is like, God, I mean, I weigh 280 pounds. I have a whole woman plus another small child in weight on almost every like average weighted woman on the planet, right? If you get into the center line of the statistics, and about a foot of height, I can like that and you're done. If you're nervous to hang out with me alone or like go somewhere in your car with me, that makes a lot of fucking sense. So just trying to like figure out if, you know, I'm a fucking serial killer or, you know, some sort of weirdo, or if I'm just the kind of guy who's going to get ass mad because like the day didn't go my way, and do something like drive around the city with you. Like, I want to get out of the car. Like, can we just fucking talk about this? I really just want to, and just have to get like worn down conversation with some shut the fuck up, because it's hard. I'm 6'4". I am 285. If I tell people to shut the fuck up, statistically speaking, in my experience, they get quiet real quick. Why? Because I can squish people with my body. It's fucking cool. Lucky me. Big people privilege. Women can't just tell most people to shut the fuck up because, you know, you're not you don't have the physical advantage of scaring someone just with your presence into making them think they should be like a little bit acquiescent to you. So if you get around people and you don't preemptively assume like, okay, this guy's not going to be fucking irritating, you might be stuck with irritating for a long fucking time. And that's just an aspect of things, which, yeah, I mean, even if Vaush is bi or pan or whatever, like, god damn, I could imagine, yeah, most straight women are going to be like, Also, once you're a certain age, like when you're in college, probably kind of bang around a little bit more. But, you know, he's pushing 30, so, like, that's kind of where a lot of women are kind of, like, looking to settle down or just, you know, not Tinder fuck all the goddamn time. And so, like, you know, pansexual dude who's probably gooning all the time and, like, maybe not necessarily looking to start a long-term relationship, buy a house together, maybe start a family is probably, like, just not it. The likelihood of him hooking up with anybody is going to go down and down and down and down and down and down and down. Vaush trying to debate a woman into enjoying it more when they're being intimate, as though it's not possible. Like, Tyler, you should watch the Wick panel on the bear versus man discourse. Ugh. I listened to that Wick guy talk one time, and like, so for the longest time, I didn't know how the Silver Sun pickup guy could like sound like that, but like Wick has the Silver Sun pickups guy voice. What do you say? If you don't understand that reference, you don't, but
put no effort into looking good. Even if we're talking heterosexual normies, a lot of women put effort into looking nice, and,
yes.
and a lot of guys just fucking don't, you know?
Yes.
So that's part of it. Yeah, Contra did discuss
yes.
this in her newest video. Yeah, in romance novels, the money is used as a literary device for power. When you read sexual fantasies written about women by men, what do they talk about? Largely, the woman's appearance. Like, her behavior isn't meaningless, but they usually talk about her appearance. But sexual fantasies about men from women are way more, like, broad and involved with the narrative. Lara Croft is a 3D woman, don't invalid, and as a lover of 3D women, I love her. I don't know, I've never had another woman say that to me. Okay, yeah, I'm talking broadly. I'm not saying this is like every woman or anything. Are you implying that if I want to have a lot of women, then I should become a femboy? Well, no, that'd be if you want to have a lot of men. A lot of women are interested in feminine men in media because they project themselves into it in a kind of like 3D Fujoshi, like, not 3D, you know, like a proxy Fujoshi projection kind of thing. But then they tend to not actually.
But like, most of those yaoi, the men aren't very effeminate. Maybe if you're just used to hyper masculine or male drawing styles, it might come off that way. But it's just when women draw men, when women draw in general, they tend to focus on different things. This is becoming less hyper obvious, but women tend to draw. They tend to draw men with more developed chests if they can. But also they just generally their eyes are better. Really, what I gotta get to. Women spend a lot of time making sure eyes and hair is like done nice. So if you see like 10 anime that were done by dudes and 10 anime that were done by women, they might all run the gamut. But I guarantee you, if you look as you guys do this, prove me wrong. If you guys want to put together just the main male and main female characters of 10 women drawn anime and then do it for the other one, the male drawn anime, almost all of the main characters are going to have the most basic spiky hair and their eyes are going to be like this drawing, lap, 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 and like a dot, maybe a circle or whatever. All of the women characters that are drawn, the men are going to have nice haircuts. They're going to have intentionally drawn hairstyles. I'm telling you right now, almost all the time, intentionally drawn hairstyles, large, expressive eyes, and a range of emotional, a range of emotions on their face, probably within the first few episodes of whatever you're watching. They will look all sorts of different ways. With the guy anime, you're gonna have a dude, and he is going to hyper pop between and then maybe like other like shocked and stuff. But like the female ones are gonna be a little, because just chicks, even cross culturally in Japan and stuff, they just tend to focus on certain other things. When you're male attracted, this might be the best way to describe this. When you're male attracted specifically, you tend to focus on different aspects. If you actually take 10 lesbian women and have their drawings, that shit's going to look a lot different too when they start drawing the people that they have interest in, because their interest is going to draw them to different aspects of people. You know what I'm saying? With the male anime, you're going to see a bunch of shitty revealing clothing, especially back in the day, and maybe the women will have really, really developed hairstyles, but the guys are going to be spiky one, standard blue hair going down, and then maybe one guy that has like a ponytail and is blonde. It's going to be a blonde ponytail guy at some point. Is it funny you say that? A lot of lesbians draw yoi. They all over the place. I miss old yoi hands. You know, when the guy's arm is like fucking 8 feet long. Clamp. Women start drawing clamp. You see old clamp animes. There's my. If you were what X, X got to go all the way back. The guys are all skinny with thin hips, broad fucking shoulders, long ass arms, and big fuck off hands, and they all have big eyes. Even the guys that are like squinty, angry dudes have like fully developed, drawn out irises and shit. FMA has some of the most basest male characters, and then again, it's written by a lady. It is. Fuck it, dude. I swear to God, almost all my favorite animated and drawn stuff is by women. It's not like a sexist thing either. It's just once you start, I was just like, so many of these that I like it, and then I started looking it up, and like almost all of my favorite comic artists are ladies. I like a lot of them. Ashley Cope. Names I cannot remember in anime. The FMA lady is like one of my favorite. I love her art. A bunch of the other ones I've been watching recently too. Not like it's only that. It's probably pretty equal, but like, fucking goddamn, Ashley Cope especially, very talented. Lackadaisy Cats lady, very good artist.
Be into guys or masculinity. I'm not being indignant about this, you know? I don't particularly find masculine guys that attractive. I tend to like androgynous or feminine people, regardless of, their gender identity.
Sorry,
I'm not saying that it's bad that women feel the way they do.
Sorry, especially to my editor right now, who just realized that this was turned up and now it's gone crazy high. I apologize. Time code. Sorry. I'm sorry.
But, if I'm fucking a chick, she better be into how I look. Like, that's a non-starter right there, Women yearn and men simply lust. Yeah, but I think that, like, that's bad for both sides. I think you have to yearn and lust, right? Because if you can't lust, then you can't be a freak in the bedroom and tear it down. But if you can't yearn, you're missing out on a lot of the emotional depth and complexity that comes along with sexual attraction and eroticism. I think you need to do both.
What in the fuck? What? Why do you have the most illiterate fucking audience I've ever heard of in my fucking life? What do you think yearning is? What do you think lust is if not yearning for sex? What does that mean? Oh my, whoever fucking wrote that is a dude who imagines himself meeting the girl of his dreams while he's writing his own poetry in a tiny little fucking book with his knee popped up like at the college, and he just looks at her like, hey. Men lust, women yearn. Shut the fuck up. The fuck does that mean? Stop desexualizing women. Stop infantilizing women. Unironically. Stop fucking infantilizing women and let them just be fucking horny as shit. I'm not, just let it be known. Women want to get fucked raw dog by gigantic dudes that they're into. Some of them. Other ones, lesbian, obviously. My apologies, ladies. I'll get to you in a second. But like, they want to get fucked inside out. They just do. It's just a thing. Like, I don't understand. What is this? Oh, she was but a flower, a rose plucked too early. And like a rose, the thorn did my finger prick, and blood fell upon the white linen. Like, what the fuck? Meanwhile, the girl's just like, dude, I have a dildo that is twice the size of your fucking arm. Literally pull my hair, spit on the back of my fucking neck, and just ruin thee. Like, come on, can you fuck me for a second? And it runs the gamut. There's a lot of shout out everybody who's like sex repulsed or arrow. This conversation is not necessarily about you. I know it sucks to be left out. But like lesbians they go hard, dude. Like the real ones, not lipstick lesbians in fucking porno. Like, oh, a few little kids. They're fucking getting in there and shit, Women want to get the shit fucked out of them. They just do. Not necessarily by you, and don't presume that you're just going to fucking get there. But like sex feels good and it's great and it's fun to be intimate with people. And this idea that women somehow have this like different approach to sex, they're just a little bit more cautious because there's a higher risk for them, what with the being murdered and impregnated shit, which still sometimes is kind of the thrill for some ladies. But like there is this idea that like you have to try to parse with like somehow the female sex drive is like this highly like, oh no, I'm very plot obsessed and very hyper-specific. Like maybe that shit just makes porn better. First off, like a good plot just slaps. There's a reason dojins exist. You know what I mean? But also like the thought that like these women just are like highly cerebral and like actually to some degree all deeply sex repulsed is like reactionary Republican bullshit, like Vaush, but also the Mormons, like reaching across to shake hands. What in the fuck is this take? Like, do you not get, this is why his fucking audience seems so goddamn scattered, is when you just start saying random shit all the fucking time, you are going to build up a crew of absolute fucking gooner brain nut jobs. Like, what is this take? What in the fuck are you talking about? It would have been better. Straight women just aren't attracted to men is obviously done. I don't know if this is seriously his idea. I mean, okay, you know, if you're just being fucking a dumb fuck on the internet to like get money, I get it. I'm here too. But like the actual point that anyone should make is a lot of men act in ways that are repellent or repugnant to women. That's inarguably true. It's just not very hot of a take. It's about as milquetoast really as it gets, you know, because it's just an obvious fact of the world. This is just stupid as shit.
It's important, right? It seems like a lot of straight couples don't even have the emotional aspect. I mean, it's depressing to think about, but it's unfortunately very true that for a significant number of heterosexual couples, their sexual experience is basically just like the woman acquiescing to sex from the man, and the man like pounding into her for a while and then nutting, and then both of them feeling weird about it after, but being quiet about it. There's so much weird shit, you know? The woman significant. A lot of straight couples don't even have the emotional aspect. I mean, it's depressing to think about, but it's unfortunately very true that for a significant number of heterosexual couples, their sexual experience is basically just like the woman acquiescing to sex from the man, and the man like pounding into her for a while and then nutting, and then both of them feeling weird about it after, but being quiet about it. There's so much weird shit, you know?
That is so essentializing and weird. Where are these heterophobic takes coming from? Why am I here? What? Like, who are you? Who is getting pandered to by this? Who are these people? I know so many people who are in love. Can I just say, I know so many people who are actually just in love. I'm in a fucking hetero relationship. My fucking sex life's not like that. So at least one of us, not conforming to the well-researched Vaush opinion of the world. But like, what in the fuck? Who? Based on what? I mean, are we just trying to say that like the worst, shittiest version of a trad wife hetero relationship within an unloving couple is for somehow that's like indicative of how every relationship goes? Are you suggesting there aren't gay couples that have like they're out of love and one of them is just performs sex with the other one kind of out of a sense of duty? Like that's just an aspect of relationships that are going bad, which anyone can experience. It's like, just so you know, if you're not straight and you are in a relationship where like you're a lesbian and you're like, well, sometimes I just let my partner fuck me and I'm not into it and I don't think I like them. Like, yeah, you're just in a bad relationship. Don't worry. You're not turning into like a straight person or something. It's just a shit relationship. Probably don't have to explain that to lesbians. Y'all move in with each other the second you see somebody else with a fucking Subaru. But like, fucking... that's just such a gross and like sad fucking worldview, you know what I mean? Especially from a guy that's like a goon fap into crazy shit and like in a Tinder thing, like you're not even in a partnered relationship. That's crazy. Don't Because, like, do you have straight people that are, like, trying to get advice? I've heard him talk about so many times, like, I'm pulling people away from the alt-right. I'm pulling people away from conservatism. And, like, if you're a conservative boy, whatever, some fucking, like, half man-child, 18 to 23, you have not had barely touched booba, have not done a sex yet. And, like, you're getting your political prescriptions from this guy, and this guy's, like, the closest thing you have to, like, God, I'm loath to say it, but fucking male role model. And you're just like already doomered on a straight relationship, which is the only thing that you're into because you're fucking straight. Like you're like, dude bodies are gross. I like booba. Do you know what I mean? And booba alone. Like, is this not gonna fuck you up a little bit to make you depressed and like, oh shit, like if I get into a serious relationship with a woman I like eventually it will degrade into a point where I'm just like thrusting on top of her and then like we both like quietly leave after it's done. What on what earth? On what fucking earth is it okay to say that even? Like, what a profoundly disgusting and bizarre thought.
I don't even necessarily think it's because they don't like each other. I think it's because they're kind of educated out of being sexually active and romantically active. Does that make sense? Like, I think it's possible for two people to find each other attractive and love each other, but still be bad at expressing themselves in that way. And because homosexuality is generally stigmatized, so homosexual movements and people place a lot of importance on self-expression, freedom, and authenticity, there's a tendency for homosexual people to be a lot more sexually liberal, or at the very least sexually introspective. Of course, there are boring people, or there are queer people who are boring in bed, and I have been with a few straight women who are just...
I've heard that women look good to impress men, and men look good to impress men. Thoughts?
Literally the opposite. 100% the opposite. Men, like, dress themselves up because they want to appeal to women. Women do their makeup and all the stuff they wear and do because they want to appeal to other women. Or not appeal to, but, like...
What? The other one was inaccurate. I was, like, waiting for him to agree, and I was just going to say, like, well, that's not really the right take. Somehow he provided the inversive and wronger version of that take. What in the fuck? I didn't know this was gonna be
literally the opposite. 100% the opposite. Men, like, dress themselves up because they want to appeal to women. Women do their makeup and all the stuff they wear and do because they want to appeal to other women. Or not appeal to, but, like, impress or get along with. Women have, like, very,
I don't know where that even comes from. I think a better definition of how people choose their fashion interactions with the world would be that men tend to societally just dress for a sense of utility. Men tend to have a sense of utility when they dress, and like a direct objective to what they're doing. Like literally, I have to wear this for this reason, highly specifically, and kind of unconcerned with any deeper interpretation. I have to wear a suit because I'm going to a funeral. I have to wear my work uniform because I'm going to work. I have to dress up in my like girls like me clothes so that girls will like me kind of deal. Whereas when women tend to dress, or if you're just stuck on that side of the gender fucking link and that's how you have to dress up, the feminine sense of dress tends to be more for social propriety, as in like, okay, I have to very much appear a certain way, because people will be very observant of me, so I have to be very interactive with that, and concerned kind of on an almost like multiplicity of bases with how you're being checked out. Whereas with guys, it's kind of like, well, I know if I put on jeans and t-shirt and have maybe put on deodorant today, todo bien. Like I'm going to be good. I will be unobserved in society. Maybe that's better. Men dress to be unobserved in society. Men dress to escape observation in kind of a general sense, to fit in or be very subtly noticed and then kind of ignored. Whereas women dress to be noticed with the hope of not drawing too much attention. Kind of like a weird little dichotomy there. Definitely, that's such an interesting kind of breakdown. I bet, don't take my word. Definitely look up some books on that. There's probably somebody that has a very interesting like college dissertation on that breakdown.
High standards aren't the right term. More like women place a lot of importance on that kind of beauty stuff, and they know how to... Like, let me put it this way. If a woman did her makeup up really well, who do you think knows enough to compliment it? A man or a woman? I don't know anything about makeup. All I can really say is like notice when the eyeliner looks good or whatever. It's kind of like how now that I know more about fashion, I can identify when people do things impressive in fashion. It's like that. Of course, we're generalizing here, but yeah.
Is Vaush just like gay? Is he just not even like? I don't even think he's like pan. I think. Well, I mean, I guess he is. I don't want to make any assumptions, but I think Vaush is just not like cis woman attracted. Is that just the case? Because his prescriptions make more sense if he's just like male attracted and just sees women as being female versions of men. So like it's just him. You would just be as a woman attracted. Like everybody's just natural standpoint is actually gay, which is antithetical to the universe. I don't know. But that would make more sense. I'm trying to figure out how he even gets to this. Because this is the crazy part is like putting no women were consulted in the filming of this video. I mean, playing a Lara Croft game while you're talking about this shit could not hit harder. I thought somebody was going to bring it up, but like, yeah, I think my summation is no women were consulted in the filming of this video. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, like women like compliments also, and guys might not know, like, women are not very often fishing for highly specific, like, deeply acoustic knowledge compliments. Like they're not gonna be like, oh hey, like, oh I just noticed from across the bar that you've done a very good job blending in that smoky eye that you put on, and is that MAC lipstick? Like that's not the compliment that women are fishing for from like whoever they're attracted to. Specifically, if we're talking about hetero, they're just like, if you just say, wow, you look great, that was it. That was the compliment. If like maybe they had one whole like kind of mode that they were in, you know, and they sort of like fashion code switched into a new like haircut, you know, new earrings, something like that. You can like notice that, but it's just like, hey, if you put something on and you like appreciate it, you can just say, oh hey, that's cute. That you should look at their bodies. Anything that was different and seems intentional, just go like, take it in, say, oh, hey, that thing, I like it. And like, women will go like, thank, that, good for you, right? Don't try to overthink anything. When you're talking to an entire subsection of the human experience that would rather be in the woods with a bear than a human being, of the opposite gender, just think like, what would a bear do? The bear would just go, just do that shit.
I've been with a few straight women who were like insanely into guys. The last straight woman that I was with, and this was a while ago, had a thing for Bara type dudes, like actual in real life large, like kind of chubby hairy guys, which hey, you'll never guess what I am. And by into it, I don't mean that she was into like, I don't know, laying back and getting pounded while just fantasizing about male power. I mean, she was actively and aggressively lustful about men's bodies like that. And it was nice being with her, because it felt nice being with somebody, especially a straight woman, what a rarity, who was as crazy about how I looked as I was about how she looked.
So, like, we end the video of straight women just aren't attracted to men by describing a straight woman who was extremely attracted to a man.
Oh my god, we're so fucked. Women make your man feel wanted, like, genuinely as fuck. It's not just about making them feel wanted, it's just, like, they have to authentically feel that way. I also wouldn't want to have a straight partner who felt like they had to put effort into it.
Vaush, I have to disagree. Most men get muscles for other men.
Well, most men end up being sort of like in a male circle when getting muscles, but a lot of guys get into fitness thinking it'll be for the women. Timed at the showers, bros. Well, women who are really into guys like it when you're a bit stinky anyway, so, you know.
Masculinity tends to be more performative than femininity, but for reasons that go beyond fashion. Men face pressure in other areas.
Yeah, to be sure, but I'm just talking about, like, eroticism, you know? I'm not trying to overcomplicate this. I'm already generalizing heavily. Basically, what I'm saying is we should enforce more harsh beauty standards to guys. That's what I'm saying. Though a lot of men probably would be much happier if they walked around feeling like they were beautiful. I've had enough experiences of women losing interest after opening and being sensitive as a het cis man, but oh well. You need to find better women. Preferably bi women. They tend to be better about this. You can't give up on that just because you've had some bad experiences with women being bitches, you know? Cry me a river. Wait, why are you being mean to them? Oh, wait, you're being mean to the women, the women that was talked about. Yeah, no, you can't give up on that. It's very important. That'd be like if you had girlfriends who dumped you because you took shits, you know, like not even bad ones, just normal ones. And you're like, well, you know, guess I have to stop shitting. But you have to shit.
I have no fucking idea what's going on at this point.
How do I date non-straight women? Where are those spaces? And what do I do? Thoughts on dating in leftist political groups or orgs?
I mean, yeah, shit.
Somebody said finally the all men are eggs take is pretty great, yes.
You find people you like there, but yeah, literally any, like, cool gay area is gonna have it. Kind of depends on your city. I mean, that really does vary. Unless you live in a very small community, or in a relatively reactionary country, you probably have a local, robust gay community.
Oh, whoops. I did not ever mean to click that. I'm so sorry. For everybody that saw me click Thermius. I don't know what to make of that. I mean, I do. I mean, I guess I talked about it pretty extensively. Killjoy, I see you did a bunch of his sex takes to his in the content request for your creation. I mean, I guess I'll go after it. But what a profoundly bad series of observations, takes, and bits of advice. Excellent 4-layer lip coat. You really made the undertone glow under the gloss. Very nice. I mean, I guess like a woman would probably be very appreciative of that, but she also might just naturally assume that you're gay. Like, how the fuck? Like, how do you know that? Either gay or a little like weird. Like, are you actually into makeup, or did you just study makeup to try to compliment me this one time? Because it's kind of like, that could be cute, but you better not do anything sus, because it will come off very, very sus. This is not the bi representation we need. Agreed. He legit said bi women are better than straight women. Was that the take? I think so. I think somebody explained to me that was going to be the take in this. I never trust people's takes before I start watching the video, because sometimes you guys are dumb as shit and wrong, with all due respect. Yeah, I don't understand why straight women would be better than bi women. You know what I mean? I guess bi women would probably prefer there to be more bi women just for selection rate issues, kind of. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I guess the ultimate take at the bottom of this was just kind of like, Vaush is a little heterophobic. You know, it's not like I'm offended or anything, but like, what? That's like, I don't know if he knows it about himself, that just came off sounding exactly to me as like a guy who's like, you know, I'm cool with the gays, but just don't put it in my face. Like, I don't understand any of that kind of shit, which I guess is okay. But like, just weird, very, very weird points. Like, the guy's approach to sex seems almost entirely sex negative. I don't know if anyone else got that. I don't think I've really heard very much in the way of a sex positive take from Vaush outside of his own descriptions of his own sexuality. Like, I know I definitely have a poison sample, but then again, I've only watched Vaush videos about things. Literally, this is from his clips channel. I'm not like seeking out fucking neo-Nazi smear campaigns against the guy. I'm looking at his own shit. And that's just profoundly fucking weird, man. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen like a sex positive take from him. Now that I think about it, there has to be a few to some degree, but not with universal. Like, true sex positivity has to be universal, right? You can't be like, you should be able to have all the straight sex you want. Straight sex should be like it should be the best thing ever. You can have all the straight sex ever if it's for procreation. If it's not, it doesn't matter. But like, gay sex is like weird and it can only end badly. Like that, you're not being sex positive. You're not a sex positive person anymore. The negativity about sex is actually what makes you sex negative. And there's negative aspects of sex, but just presumptively assuming, presumptively assuming that a large amount, like an extremely massive number of heterosexual relationships are in themselves inherently like semi-abusive and sex negative and loveless, implies so many different things. First off, I think we've just attached sex to love in a way that is probably not ultimately healthy down the line, because with all due respect to, I think there's some problems unique to straight relationships, given that heteronormativity is quite repressive. But Vaush did not articulate any. Well, all relationships are have aspects of repression. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess, yeah, heteronormativity is repressive, not heterosexual normative, but yeah, heteronormativity is repressive. I think the repressive aspects of that they put a lot of pressure on other people's relationships too. There's a non-zero amount of gay men I've talked to who don't like the liberal sexuality of gay culture. They hate it because they are not highly sex positive people, like maximum sexual libertarians. So they like to try to go to gay spaces to feel comfortable, but when they go to gay spaces to feel comfortable, there's a lot of people who like to try to, like are you a swinger? Do you want to have sex? And so it becomes this hyper sexualization thing where you kind of can't rest and get away from it. So the reactive nature of trying to make homosexuality visible and having it as a resistive force to the sex negative aspects of the highly Christian, highly authoritarian government that we have regarding those aspects of it, has turned you into a sort of pseudo reactionary, where not only do you have to be very outwardly sexual and very sexually permissive, not necessarily into criminal or untoward acts, but always kind of open to being, propositioned for sex and stuff. Some people aren't very comfortable with that, but you can't kind of articulate that discomfort sometimes because it comes off as being anti-gay as a gay man. I've heard that a non-zero amount of times. I'm not going to say it's a standard belief, but most of the time I've heard it's been from gay men that are in their 30s, 40s, that are married, and they just want to go out and have drinks, not around straights, so they can know they can be in a gay relationship, but they also just don't want to be propositioned for sex or see sex stuff everywhere. They did too many penis popsicles for a Wednesday martini date kind of deal. I thought the two genders were male and political. Yeah. Gay relationships can also be quite repressive, to be fair. As a bi person, I've been rejected by quite a few gay people because they just think I'm a whore. Yeah, it can be rough in every direction. Relationships are not simple, which I think the biggest aspect of this, the biggest aspect of the issue that I take with this is kind of the thing that I'm finding to be extremely common with Vaush, is talking out of his ass in a very, very deep way. People complain to me about this. Everyone talks out of their ass at some point. You know what I mean? Because you can't know everything, and sometimes you say stuff based on assumptions that you have. But if you pay attention to more than 3 seconds of me talking, you probably find a bunch of little hiccup points where I say, I'm not an expert on this. I don't know 100%. There's probably a lot of interesting information here. Someone should go and double check that stuff out. That's kind of like a buoy. It's a live stream. I would be even more cautious about never just giving a take if I was writing something, but I kind of have to go, out there with it. In this case, I think there's a bit of a danger of these really, really dumb takes spreading and people learning from them and thinking that it's kind of okay to think this way. I don't know. I kind of distracted myself, but I think there was a question I forgot to get to that I wanted to answer. Oh, somebody said, where do NB people fit into this? This sort of started with the beginning of it is, there's just a sense of there's always going to be, just because of the way that fucking humans are broken down. You have to create a sci-fi world, basically, to articulate a world where that's completely divorced from the bimodal gender spectrum, so to say. So, if you're an outlier in that because, you're NB or you're trans or, whatever, you're aromantic, you present as cis, but because you don't engage in cis sexual activities that are typical for that, you feel like you're also left out. There's always going to be outliers and stuff. I mean, you're kind of in a lose-lose situation, but I think the issue is not necessarily like, I think the biggest issue, especially with this, I think this is where I was getting, is trying to essentialize and simplify relationships in ways that make them feel more digestible, but you're really going to choke when you try to swallow it. If you just try to understand people as people, I think you're going to get a lot further down the line. Most of this is just me responding to pretty out there suggestions and prescriptions and assumptions and opinions and statements from Vaush. A pretty packed up 10 minutes, to be honest. I think the real thing is I don't think you should give people specific hardline suggestions for their behavior based on, immutable characteristics and stuff. You can try to articulate the issues you might face based on that and some stuff you can do to kind of circumnavigate those issues. But I think the issue that's created probably for NB people is the fact that the bigger conversation, because more people are participating in it between how should men and women interact with each other, the attempts at essentializing that turns all the advice that comes down to you into something that you can't fucking use at all because you don't present as a male or as a female. You're a third option type of deal, and your third option might not be the same as other third options. And when you try to reconcile the masculine aspects of your personality or the feminine aspects of your personality with your own desires or interests, when people have handed down hard line, that's the point that I think the issue with Vaush is, hard line prescriptions and statements. When you try to reconcile those, they might not work for you because, well, first off, he's wrong. He's just wrong about shit. But also, you're going to need a third option. So being able to just provide you with the ability to understand. This is why I tried to fix my language when I was just talking about it, that you shouldn't say what men or women should do, but more along the lines of what male interested or female interested individuals should do. I've never been non-binary. You know what I'm saying? I don't really prescribe to all that other shit, but I'm not going to fucking rainbow capitalism my gender or anything for you guys. But yeah, I think that larger conversation being dominated by those sort of incorrect and highly polarizing hard-line assertions of behavior and stuff is going to confuse anyone that gets down lower, because if they try to put that, attach those things to themselves, you're going to be like, wait, what the fuck? I am AFAB, I identify as non-binary, I'm extremely femme-presenting, but I'm very interesting. I like the femme presenting aspects, but I do some androgynous, but I'm interested in women, and I'm interested specifically in cis women. You're stuck in this little area where he just didn't articulate fucking anything that you can kind of understand from there. Cause you're I like cis women, but I want them to be interested in me in a masculine way. What the fuck is going on here? Where how do I get out of this? Or maybe you're just maybe you are a woman, female, right? If you're just AFAB, lesbian, but you're butch identified, right? But you're not trans. You're butch. You're not NB. You're not trans. You're literally a butch woman, and that's how you identify yourself, and that's what you're proud of. 45, Ironworkers Local 132. Get it? Backwards baseball cap. You want to talk with a deep voice and shit. Where do you fall into this? Because you are masculine. You have big shoulders. You're strong as shit. You do fucking metal work all goddamn day. But how do you get to the prescriptions and shit here? We've defined what women should do, but now we've actually, in defining what women should do, ousted a woman from it. You know what I mean? Which I was trying to be as careful as I can because there's so many articulations. But I feel like you have to bake into this. You can't just kind of fucking pop off with this shit. You have to be a lot more sensitive, which I don't normally like to do or say, because I feel like a dipshit when I say it. But you have to be more sensitive to the outliers, because once you start making these big hardline prescriptions, people might not understand the depth of their outlier nature relative to what you say. And if they internalize, you know, I have to do these things to be attractive as a woman, you know, who is female interested but presents this way, like, how the fuck do I do that? Like, maybe I can never have that, you know? It's very strange. It's just a bad conversation on his part, because I'm trying to, like, reconcile the things he said with the reality of shit, and because he was fucking wrong almost the entire time, or off base, or just saying shit, it's confusing me trying to fucking fit his busted ass Lego from a different type. He's a mega block, and I'm trying to attach him to my Lego castle for all of my Lego obsessed friends. Just doesn't fit right. Maybe I could put things down enough, but at some point I have to go like, no, this is a mega block. I've got to get rid of this. Doesn't fucking fit, you know? It's not even just the outliers, just like people's unique individual circumstances. Yes, Vaush has no qualifications to be giving advice that he does. I know. It's not even stuff that you maybe even really need like qualifications for. Like, I don't think that you need to have an advanced degree to be able to give people advice on how to be attractive to the people that they're attracted to. I think that's actually extremely simple, and you can get right to it. Most of it comes down to, for everybody, just practice grooming, understand the social etiquette that might exist at a macro and micro level around you, and then try to be a good human being that person will want to be around for a very long time, and maybe even have sex with, and be receptive to things that they say. There's a lot of, but I feel like that's pretty guaranteed, right? Like, it's kind of hard to fuck with that. And then if you want more information, you got to get more specific. But making like grandiose statements like straight women aren't into men, you know, that's like the heart of this, heart of darkness here. That is such a mad fucking assumption that what in the fuck? How do you get there? Lord Almighty. Mega Bloks had the better figures. It was the only one I could remember. You can fit a Lego with a Mega Block with enough super glue. Fair enough. I'm sorting out Mega Bloks from some Lego right now. Name Thrill House. I believe it. I know my audience. I was speaking directly to you. Lego and Kinects can fit together with enough will. I always liked Kinects. Also, he erased all of the dominant straight women that exist. Not exactly a majority, I know, but Vaush just kind of didn't address them at all. He really didn't step outside of his own immediate like possible understanding of anything. It really is just an aspect of like what happens when you have no respect for other people. I think I'm trying to get like too complex when I'm trying to like wrap my mind around what the mistakes he's making are. And I think I'm being too generous. I think it's just selfishness. I think he's just a self-absorbed guy. I think he's just absolutely like solipsistic and self-obsessed and a little fucking Dunning-Krugered. And that's pretty much it. I don't know how you get to another conclusion. You know, like if you're a Vaush fan and you were like please, oh my God, if you're the person that loved this video, if you were like what are the comments like? I want to see that. This is a Thermia video again. Not gonna lie, this kind of explains why, despite liking dudes, I've never enjoyed Yoai's depictions of gay stuff much. That's crazy. that I get it. Okay, so like even statements like that, straight porn is not the same every time. There's all sorts of things that people are into that are different, but it doesn't make it not straight porn. So like, just because you're watching men have sex does not mean that that was intended to appeal to you. I feel like that goes without saying. You know, like, does Vaush have viewers that are like trying to jerk off to pornography that they're not into, and then they just get like hung up on it? Like, now what in the hell is going on here? Well, I'm trying to get into this, but this pornography just does not make any sense to me. That's like an ascended gooner fucking comment. Like, I had this recommend. Like, I've never heard somebody talk about porn that way. outside of like weird, like, you know, 4chan shit. I don't even think there. I've never heard somebody discuss pornography the way that I would discuss a spice that I use in cooking. I've been trying to get into the cinnamon, but it's just too hot for my tongue. Pegging is gay level take. Yeah. Sorry for everybody where this got extremely like sexual as a conversation. It's not, but I feel like this is a good way to talk about sexuality. I'm not trying to be gross or like overly intensive, but like it's strictly academic. It's profoundly bizarre. He's sort of right on this. When I was in my teens and early 20s, the male physique did absolutely nothing for me, despite being sexually attracted to men, while the female physique did. As I've gotten older, something changed, and now I love the male form. I don't even know what, aren't you just straight? The saying afraid, despite being into guys, in high school, I was only into girls, but now I'm into guys. Well, that's a life journey. I think there's something, I don't think anything that Vaush said could explain that to you. That seems like something that you kind of arrive at through maybe like deep personal introspection or therapy, because it sounds like you were just straight. Or maybe a version of trans, but like, okay, everyone else is as confused as I am. So they're bi? I don't know. That's madness.
Hope you enjoyed your time on the West Side.